Nickelodeon cartoons have been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. I mean, I grew up on the Saturday morning lineup of shows and I absolutely loved them. Sadly, most of my favorite childhood Nicktoons have long since been cancelled, never to see new episodes again. I'm your host as always, K-Mac Time, and today I want to take a look at 10 Nicktoons that should make a comeback. Now, before we jump into today's list, I just want to say that this is in no particular order, and the list is based on my own personal opinions on shows that I used to watch and like as a kid. If I don't mention a show that you guys think deserves a comeback, make sure to just drop a comment telling me what you guys think should make a return. I'd love to hear what you guys think, and it's always a good time to talk with fans that have similar interests, so I'd love to get a dialogue going down in the comment section. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump right into today's video. Starting us out is the show The Angry Beavers, which in my opinion is criminally underrated. It ran for 4 full seasons with 68 total episodes between 1997 and 2001. I loved this show as a kid and still go back to it from time to time and watch episodes here and there. And Dag and Norb were some of the funniest dialogue, and the voice acting is so damn good in this show. I mean, the way that they do the characters' influx of voice is so cool. I love their tones and love their dialogue, back and forth banter. It's so good. The way the brothers interact and fight and call each other stupid made-up names like Spoothead. I mean, it really reminds me of how me and my brother acted as kids, and it's incredibly funny. And Angry Beavers would for sure be welcome back on my TV screen any day. Next up is another show that tends to often be overlooked and somewhat forgotten about, and that's a real shame. My Life as a Teenage Robot ran for 3 seasons with 40 total episodes between 2003 and 2005, and it was one of the first cartoons other than the Powerpuff Girls that I can remember having a strong female character as the hero, which is pretty cool for this time. But like I said, it's kind of a Powerpuff Girls rip-off, if you will. It's kind of like a Nickelodeon's version of the Powerpuff Girls, but instead of superpowers, it's just a giant super crime-fighting robot, but it's still good in its own right. The characters in the show were pretty memorable and all felt very unique and fleshed out. I also enjoyed the art style it had. You get that cell shaded going on. I really enjoyed the animation in this show, and like I said, it's really good show. It's kind of underrated, but the best thing about this though, the thing that sticks out to me though, is the theme song. It will get stuck in your head. I mean, I've been humming it all day just listening to it for this video, and just go ahead and give it a listen on this. It's so good. Rockos Modern Life is an all-time classic, but I feel like it was cut well short of how long it should have ran for. It had only 4 seasons and 52 episodes from 1993 until 1996, and that just isn't enough for me. I need more of the show and its quirky characters and its sense of adult humor that is something that's really lacking from today's cartoons. I would kill for more Rocko and Heifer's antics and sexual innuendos and all the other greatness. And while yes, it has been confirmed that they will be making a 1-hour special revival episode, I want more than that. I want a full season. I want, maybe a full-length movie. I want more of these characters and I want it now. I mean, this is the show that I feel if it's properly redone, it could be a smash hit all over again. Much like the reboot of Samurai Jack, which I'm actually so stoked for. But this would be like something a more mature version of the show. They get to do more swearing. They could probably embrace the adult humor a little bit it's known for. And it would have to be on a different network because Nickelodeon would never do that. But if you remember, this show actually ran on MTV back in 1994. And it would make sense for them to pick this back up and revive it and make some great episodes. I wish that was something that could happen. Now, if we're talking about a show that was cut off in what was seemingly its prime, and for no good reason, we'd have to be talking about Invader Zim, and oh my god, this show was like crack to me as a kid. I would watch it and rewatch it over and over. It literally never gets old. I mean, the show only ran for 2 seasons and 27 episodes before it was canceled due to budgetary issues from Nickelodeon, as the animation of the show was very costly and time-consuming. But Nickelodeon even cut the show short and didn't air a handful of finished episodes from season 2, and they stopped the production on a TV movie that was supposed to serve as a finale for the show. Thankfully, those episodes made their way into the DVD set that was released in 2006, but that isn't enough for me and the massive following the show has gained over the years. Fans did get a comic series of the show in 2015 that's very good, but I want more of this. I need more Invader Zim. I need to know how the story goes, and I want it on my TV screen. I want the voice crew. It would be so awesome to bring this show back. As you guys know, Butch Hartman is one of my favorite cartoon creators, and his cartoons are always top-notch. Fairly Odd Parents is actually still getting new episodes, and his brand new show, Bunsen is Beast, is coming to Nickelodeon very, very soon. but it was his other Nickelodeon show that I loved the most. Danny Phantom, which ran for 3 seasons of 53 episodes from 2004 until 2007. I can remember seeing advertisements for this show and being so excited for it to come out, and the show didn't disappoint when it did finally debut. Its mix of supernatural, pop culture, likable characters, and incredibly well written dialogue. It's one of my all-time favorite Nicktoons, and I was so sad to see it go when it got canceled back in the day. And when I was actually lucky enough to meet and hang out with Butch Hartman, I asked him about the possibility of bringing the show back, and he said he's very open to the idea and would love to resurrect those characters. So fingers crossed that Nickelodeon gives them the thumbs up and they reopen the Ghost Zone sometime in the future. When I was younger, I used to be obsessed with the Amanda Show back in the day, believe it or not, and my favorite skits on the show were always the ones with Drake Bell and Josh Peck. So imagine my excitement when I first heard that they were getting their own show. And Drake and Josh was one of the first live-action sitcoms on Nickelodeon that I actually really enjoyed. The show was incredible. Drake was a popular but immature, girls loved him, and Josh was this, kind of nerdy, kind of didn't get the girls and was kind of a loser, but it was so funny. And the way that they acted together and the way that they're meshed together, it was so good. Those two can act so good. They're like made to act together. Not to mention Miranda Cosgrove was a little sister in the show who went on to get her own show in iCarly. She was great in the show, and it was just a good show. It was well written, it was well directed, it was well executed. I loved that live action sitcom. Now, of course, all the characters have since grown up, but I think it would be cool to bring back some kind of thing where maybe Josh has his own kids now, or Drake has their own kids, or maybe they each have one of their own kids and they become friends and they kind of remake that show. I don't know, just kind of an idea. I would love something like this in the future. Fingers crossed on that, but I think it's kind of a long shot. Rocket Power was another amazing show from my childhood that I would kill to see new episodes of. It ran for just 4 seasons and 71 episodes and a couple of on-TV movies, which were also really good. I loved those. But it was from 1999 until 2002. Otto, Reggie, Twister, and the Squid were the coolest to me as an 8-year-old, and I couldn't believe how obsessed I became with this show. I even got asked for a skateboard for Christmas one Christmas, and I can't skateboard. I can't do any extreme sports, but I loved that show. That's how much I love the show. I mean, they take the extreme sports to a kid's show. It was something new and interesting for the time, and I instantly fell in love with the characters and the style of the show with, the cutaways were like, oh, or bam, and, the weird things it did. And they still, to this day, I call people shoobies, and I do the woogity, woogity, woogity handshake, and it just, all the kind of cool little things that they did in that show, I absolutely loved. And a Rocket Power return as them as teenagers would be so freaking cool. They mix in kind of high school life and kind of a newer vibe. Of course, they mix in the gang's extreme sports with that, and it would be so cool. My head would absolutely explode if they ever made a follow-up series or reboot. Hopefully one day they do that. But until then, we'll have to just keep on wishing for it. One of my biggest dreams as a kid was to be on Slime Time Live. I mean, who wouldn't want to get slimed or pied in the face on TV as a kid? The show was so cool. It was a live-action game show where contestants would regularly be pied in the face or covered in slime or all kinds of fun things. And they had this... They could have people call in and interact. So I'd always be calling these hotline numbers in Nickelodeon, trying to get on the show. You could win prizes. They give bikes and rollerblades and other things. And I would always be calling these numbers and watching these shows. It was so cool. And it ran for 8 seasons between 2000 and 2003. It was actually filmed live at Universal Studios theme park, and the show hold 2 world records, and most people pied in the face in 3 minutes. I think it was 1,000, and the most people slimed at once was 780. And like I said, as a kid, I wanted nothing more to go to the freaking studios and take a pie to the face. It would have been such a cool thing to do. Unfortunately, they stopped doing the show before I ever got the chance. But if they were ever to bring it back, you better bet that I'd be first in line to get slimed on TV. Another major classic in the Nickelodeon library, of course, is the Rugrats. This show was basically my entire childhood. I've seen every episode, I think, at least 10 times. And I still have the orange original Rugrat movies. They're on the orange VHS tapes, and those are just so cool to me. I actually have those as a kid, and I still have them somewhere at my parents' house. But, Tommy, Diddle, Chucky, Phil, Lil, Susie, Angelica are some of my all-time favorite characters. And even though the show ran for 9 seasons with over 172 episodes, and it even had a spin-off show, of course, The All Grown Up, I still want more of this show. And as much as I like The All Grown Up, I think it would be so cool to go back and give the original ages another chance and make the new show where they're all babies again. And, you know, a baby's got to do what a baby's got to do, and I would do anything to bring this classic back to Nickelodeon. Now, before we get to the last one on the list, I wanted to go over a few of these, I call them honorable mentions. These are shows that just missed making my top 10 cartoons that I wanted back. Still great shows, still love these shows, but go ahead and check these out.
Someone once told me the grass is much greener on the other side.
Fine day with a woof and a purr, a baby was born and it caused a little stir. No.
And our final show, of course, is Hey Arnold, and this show had everything a great cartoon needed. It was funny, had lovable characters, great writing, gripping plot lines, and even had an even better subplot lines. I mean, so good. I mean, making Helga act mean to Arnold and then all while being secret in love with him was like pure genius, and it made for some truly funny episodes and some funny dialogue. And Gerald's urban legend stories, Arnold's insanely cool bedroom, Helga's gum sculpture with just a handful of the crazy things that made this show so great. And like I said, it had so many cool characters, and they all had their own thing. They felt fleshed out. Now, I know they're making a brand new Hey Arnold movie to explain what happened to Arnold's parents, but I hope that the reaction to it is good enough and big enough that they really consider bringing this series back. That would not only make my day, but make my entire life if they brought back Hey Arnold. That is how much I love this show. Probably the show I watched the most as a kid. But anyway, guys, that's all I have time for today. I hope you all enjoyed. If you guys did, make sure to hit that like button. Let's try to hit 500 likes. It really helps out my channel, you guys. Like the video, share the video, all that kind of stuff. So hopefully we can get that done. And also, feel free to subscribe for more awesome Nickelodeon and cartoon content in your sub boxes daily, along with other stuff I do around here. Also, check out my previous video. I did a video on the top 10 Disney Channel shows that we want back, and I'm going to be making, in next week, is going to be making top 10 Cartoon Network shows I want back. So be looking out for that video. Like I said, subscribe to get that in your sub box. Links in the description for the other videos. But until next time, guys, remember, as always, came back time somewhere. Take it easy, and peace out.